Welcome, my brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, to the real world with Elder George. I'm Elder George, and will share a message that will not only help you deal with the stress, tensions, and anxieties of living in Western society, but will also motivate you to help transform society from materially oriented to family supportive. There are three requisites for a happy, healthy, and harmonious human environment, and they are spiritual awareness, gender understanding, and family focus. Western society does not promote any of these requirements, yet they apply to all the issues facing us. They constitute what I call the real world, and you will hear me refer to them a lot. Today, I will discuss the large American prison population. America has the world's largest prison population. This is a very ominous statistic, as men have the responsibility for the propagation and preservation of the human race. If we put large numbers of men in prison, we diminish society's ability to propagate and preserve itself. That sounds simple, doesn't it? But that's what we're doing here. Those who address the high incarceration rate, whether they be in government, politics, and academia, whatever, focus on the administration of the justice and penal systems, but fail to get at the root of the issue. They address race, poverty, substance abuse, addiction, and education, which are all influences, but do not deal with the cause. Today, I will get at the cause of our high incarceration rates. As part of getting to the root cause, I will indicate the actual numbers of the prison population at different points in the last 100 years. And then we will review the details. The prison population in 1925 was 100,000, and the racial mix in federal prisons was about the same as for the general population. By 1976, the prison population had increased 2.5 times, while the population, the population of the nation had almost doubled. From that point on, now this is from 1976, the number of prisoners would double every 8 years. In 1976, the population was 250,000. In 8 years, it would double to 500,000. By 1992, it had doubled again to 1 million. And by the year 2000, it had doubled again to 2 million. Never had so many American men been put into prison. Not in all the wars of the 20th century had the combined total of American prisoners approached 2 million. A disproportionately high percentage of men in prison were black. Since less than 12% of the U.S. population is black, this indicates a large percentage of black males were incarcerated. As mentioned earlier, the racial mix in federal prisons was equal to the general population mix in 1926. What happened to create the present imbalance? What effect did it have on the black community? What effect did it have on America? These conditions are effects caused by the civil rights legislation that was part of the Great Society goals of the Johnson administration, which were to eliminate poverty, provide medical care for the masses, improve the environment, and in general make America a better place in which to live. Many reports indicate considerable progress on all fronts. If so, what happened to cause the American prison population to increase 20-fold in 75 years, with a disproportionate number of prisoners being African Americans? Welfare legislation motivated the black man to leave the home so his women and children could receive financial support from the state. Education and job preferences were given to the black woman, while the government arrested and incarcerated the black man for failing in his child support payments. In short, the government destroyed the black family, not by accident, but by premeditation. The white family was also destroyed, but by fanning the fires of racism, the attention was diverted away from the real issue: the neutering of the American male. You got that? The neutering of the American male. Neutered men do not become heads of families. They become jackasses on the treadmill of production. Women join them and become she-asses on the treadmill of production. Together they do the productive work of society while big government and big business run their lives. Family is disappearing. Men and women, instead of marrying, now shack up. Their children suffer from a lack of nurturing love and a stable family environment. They join gangs to compensate for this lack. America and the entire Western world are breaking down. It's time to reach the understanding that patriarchy is the natural structure of the universe, and tribalism is its human extension. Men of courage must make change. Are you one of them? Besides all those men that suffered in prison, millions more were in gangs. Many who were in gangs underperform in society. They have been neutered. There are only a few real men available to make the change. That's why Isaiah 4:1 said, there will be 7 women for 1 man. The Prophet Muhammad said there will be 50 women for 1 man. You noticed that in the last 5 podcasts, I indicated that society was crumbling, that children felt uncared for, and that women were suffering from a multitude of mental, physical, and emotional ailments. Men are responsible for these conditions. The time is at hand for the few real men that are around to fulfill their responsibilities to women, children, the elderly, and the infirm. There is no other solution. All future videos and podcasts will emphasize the effects of not having spiritual awareness, gender understanding, and family focus, and the damage it is doing to the mental, physical, and spiritual condition of society. The time for action is now. Do you want to be part of the change, or are you content to be part of the collapse? You can find additional information on this subject by going to my website at www.mensaction.net and tap the About Us tab, which contains the essay index. Under the letter A, you will find the essay titled, America Has the World's Largest Prison Population. It's an elaboration of what you heard here today, and I think you will benefit from reading it. Thank you for tuning in to The Real World with Elder George. Please log on to my website, www.mensaction.net, which contains 170 essays and 46 videos, all relating to the real world. It also illustrates my 2 books, which contain more information on the subjects that we address. You can be part of the effort to bring about change in our society by sharing this message with your friends and by tuning in to my next video and/or podcast. Working together, we will survive. Dear viewer and/or listener, an important part of our message consists of an explanation of the principle of gender, which is elaborated on in my 2 books. My first book, Dear Brothers and Sisters, Gender and Its Responsibility, explains gender differences and the realization that they are manifestations of a universal principle. My second book, A Gender Handbook for Western Man, is not a handbook as such, but it does approach the gender issue on a more technical basis, which I felt would be more receptive to the Western mind. Both books can be obtained quickly from Amazon or Barnes and Noble. I hope that you will invest in both and increase your awareness and understanding of the principle of gender and its importance in your life. Thank you.